welcome to the Movie Bears podcast. I'm Brad Harris, and we are super jazzed to welcome you to a super special episode of the show. With me, as usual, is my co-host, Will Lindis. Welcome, Will.
Oh, hey, fans. So happy to be with you today. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, bonus episode. Woo, woo. Unfortunately, our other cohort in crime, Jim Poliafico, cannot be with us today. He is stuck at work. Boo.
Boo.
But we are thrilled to welcome a very special guest to the show today. You may have seen a little talked about movie. Not a lot of people know about it, but it's called Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Will, are you familiar with this? I don't know.
I think I saw a trailer for it once. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Everyone on the planet has seen this movie at this point. And we are totally jazzed to welcome Ana-Maria Leonte, who played Dasha Prementi in Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Ana-Maria, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. Hello, everyone, and I'm really thrilled to be part of the show. I actually listened to the review for The Revenant, and I truly liked it. So I need to see the movie now.
Oh, fun.
Wow. Well, we are honored that you listened. That is so awesome, and definitely you should see that film. It's one to check out. Yeah.
Definitely, right? I will tell you.
So, Ana-Maria, you played Dasha Prementi in Star Wars: The Force Awakens. For those who may not be familiar with Dasha, can you tell us a little bit about your character and her role in the film?
Yes, of course. So Dasha Prementi is a Jakku villager. She appears briefly at the beginning of the movie. We shot the scene during the night, so perhaps is in the movie itself, you can't see it so well, but the character is later developed and later explained in further detail in the visual dictionary written by the amazing Pablo Hidalgo. And then you can also find Dasha Prementi in the top cards on the app, in the app itself. Dasha means Darius or the gift of God. It's a Persian name. And Dasha, as a Jakku villager, the way we were selected for this movie, you had to have very particular looks for it. You had to, the look was Persian, so like the Princess of Persia or, Northern India or Mediterranean. So you had to have, slightly darker skin and piercing blue-green eyes. And then you had to have a very good athletic tenure as well, because we had to run quite a lot, which was I truly enjoyed it as well.
Oh, that's so fun. I think one of the things that impressed me so much about the marketing for this film was just how hush-hush everything was. I mean, up until opening day, a lot of people, myself included, knew nothing about this film, none of the major spoilery plot details, all of that. Can you tell us maybe a little bit about some of the secrecy around the filming of The Force Awakens and just how hard it was to kind of keep some of those things under wraps?
Yes, I mean, you know what? When you're part of such an amazing movie and you're part of this legacy, keeping it secret is not the biggest problem here. It's actually part of the mystery and part of the experience, because it kind of prolongs, the moment you had on set, because you have to keep it secret. But then the secrecy was just amazing, I'm telling you, from the moment I was casting for a movie, because I didn't know for what I'm casting, I didn't even know it's a movie or it's a commercial. I met, so after I finished my bachelor degree and before I did a master degree, I took a gap year and I attended the Bubble Theatre here in London. And my colleagues recommended me to apply for a short movie. I applied. I was being auditioned for a very typical, very English character. I did not have the accent back then. I don't have it now, as I'm originally from continental Europe. I got a rejection. And then I was reading this book on how to be a good actor. And I went back and I said, thank you very much for taking your time and having auditioned me. And they actually responded back and they said, why don't you come and see how we shoot the movie? And I went, I joined the team. I was so happy to be there, and to learn from other actors. And the movie director introduced me to the cast. They told me I was the only one who gave a positive response, even if I was rejected. And then 2 years after this happening, I received a message from the lead actor from this movie, Jake Walters, who said, Ana-Maria, they are casting for people with your skills and your looks. Would you like to give it a try? And I went for the auditioning. I was casting with the agency. They took all the measurements. They took your CV as well. And, there were so many people queuing. And I said, I have no clue what I'm auditioning for, but I'm going to go for it. This time, I don't really, let's see what will happen. And then I actually realized they told me I passed the test, and then that they asked me if I'm available to go to Pinewood Studios for a fitting. And I went there, and I remember I tried to find out what movie is, right? Because Pinewood Studios is very famous for the iconic British James Bond. So I asked the makeup artist, so what is this movie? Are we all getting involved in? I mean, is it like a big movie? I desperately wanted to know, because if it was a movie I didn't like, I really wanted to give up. And then I go there, and they take pictures of you, so they see if you integrate well with the rest of the team, because all Jakku villagers had to look the same. So there were lots of people from Italy, Spain, from Iran, some British people as well being interviewed for this role, and we had to fit within the family. And then I remember I saw a stormtrooper, and I realized that I'm actually auditioning for Star Wars.
Oh my goodness, it's amazing. Like,
Wow.
that story, my mouth was like open the entire time in amazement, just because like all of that from like a well-timed thank you note. Like, that is such an amazing story. I love that.
Yes, who would have thought, right? I mean, when I was a child, I was a little bit not lonely, but I was immersed in books, and I always thought, and I was captivated by this quote, that books are your best friends. And when, I left home when I was 14, so I was very young. Sometimes you don't have advice, or your parents are too far away from you, and what do? You read a book. So that's what I did when I started acting as well. I read the book and I learned it from there. I totally 100% relied on the author of this book. So, and then, put it in practice as well. That's very important, right? Because only reading something and then not converting it into action, this energy is really, really important. Because, as I was saying before, I think sometimes the things we do now, they have a long effect in our future. So you need to think very well about your actions and what you want to achieve.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of those things where, it's like throwing a pebble into a pond, right? You have no idea what the ripples are going to create. And I love the fact that just being polite, right? Just this little thank you. I mean, I can't even imagine like how much negativity they probably deal with on a daily basis, right? So I imagine that really made you stand out to them and eventually led to you being part of Star Wars. So that's amazing.
That is amazing, and I'm very thankful to Jake Walters, to, the movie director back then, because I was just a student, and it's amazing to see, so many young people being part of Star Wars, The Force Awakens. I think the fact that they combined, a new cast with the old cast as well, it's like a metaphor in itself of, this transgression from the previous generation, bringing Star Wars to today's generation as well, and teaching them what it was, and what it is to be part of the Star Wars family. Because I mentioned this before, actually, not everyone in continental Europe, or perhaps in countries from Africa or Asia, were aware of the franchise. So what they did, and I think JJ did an amazing role, an amazing job here, they actually made it more popular in areas Star Wars hasn't been popular before.
Wow, that's phenomenal. I mean, tell us a little bit about working with J.J. Abrams. I mean, what was that like from an actor's perspective?
Yeah, I mean, when I saw JJ on set, I I was thrilled. I was, do you imagine being on set with your favorite movie director? you have this moment when you just, the world stops and you just keep looking and you keep analyzing every single movement he makes, every single word he says. And I'm so happy that, JJ didn't disappoint 1 second. He was so generous with every one of us. And, no matter if you were a big actor, because we were on the same scene with Lor Santeka, Kylo Ren, with Finn as well. And we were the villagers, and to see the way he actually motivated us and the way he conveyed the energy to us in order for us to perform in the way he wanted is just amazing. And I think it goes back again to, sometimes it's really, and I deeply respect this, when I see in professionals, no matter you are a movie director, a fintech professional, a famous podcast, presenter or host like you guys, it's really amazing, and it's really really empowering to see someone so high on the pyramid or so high in their career, showing so much respect to people so diverse from them, which I find, and from an acting perspective as well. It was really interesting to see the way he dialogued with the other characters, with Lor Santeka, the way he was giving them advice, and his generosity, actually asking them and asking us as well, to when we were killed, because, we are... Lor Santeka, our protector, is killed, and then Kylo Ren and Captain Phasma are there as well, and the stormtroopers then they start an attack on us. It's quite powerful, to see JJ come to you and tell you this. Imagine this was real. This is happening to your family, right? What is stronger than the feeling of family, of losing your family, losing the beloved one? So I actually remember I was tearing a little bit. I didn't know if it was a close-up or a distant shot. So, everyone gave their best. And it was a very apocalyptic moment. And it's just amazing. I think, this movie has done very well at conveying this energy from the beginning of the movie. As JJ well mentioned to us as well, this is the first scene, and is the scene that sets the tone for the rest of the movie, right? And it's amazing to learn from the other actors as well. And I think it's an opportunity that I truly wish to every budding actor, or everyone who is interested in entertainment, or even movie directors. I have a friend who does, sometimes he plays in various movies to learn from the directors themselves. And there was with us for Star Wars The Force Awakens, one of the villagers, Amal, she flew from Dubai. She was a movie director. She took this role, and she flew from Dubai to play this tiny little role.
Oh, wow. It's so amazing, the types of things that you can learn by kind of cross-pollinating like that, as a director, trying things out from the actor's perspective, or as an actor kind of stepping behind the camera and kind of learning all of the different aspects there. That's great. Speaking of this production as a whole, can you share with us any interesting stories from the production that our listeners might be interested in? It kind of any fun behind the scenes things that you experienced?
Yes, there are actually two stories. So one is about my dress, and the other one is about Dasha Prometheus' blaster pistol. So at the beginning, we were running around, and it's the scene where we actually are looking in the distance to see if the stormtroopers are invading our village. And when they do, we run backwards to announce the villagers. When I do this, there were actually a few branches, and my dress was quite long for me, and I kept falling and falling and falling. It was a lot of fun, right? It reminded me of the time when I was a child and I was doing this, and I had, my elbows and my knees were sometimes, hurting me, but it was quite fun because it was a lot of sand on the ground, right? Because it's planet Jakku, and it's there is no vegetation, there is a lot of sand. So I was fine with that, but they eventually had to come with the scissors and cut my dress.
Oh,
That's
wow.
great.
That's crazy.
So you can imagine the amount of details that they had to look at, right? And the amount of attention, not only JJ, but the rest of the stuff also put into this movie. And the love everyone had towards every single person involved in this production. And then the other story revolves around my choice for a gun. So we went there and we had to choose our guns, and everyone chose, very the bigger the gun, the better and the happier, people were. And I chose this, super long gun that didn't actually quite, fit with me running around, and it was so long that I kept, I kept, it didn't feel natural. It felt too long for me as well. And they actually came and they gave me the blaster pistol, and they said, "This looks much better for you." And I was a bit annoyed at the beginning. I thought, "Oh dear, I'm not gonna make it because everyone has such a super big gun and I don't have this." But without this blaster pistol, there wouldn't be Dasha Promenti, and so just sometimes we need to accept the things that happen to us and believe that they are part of a bigger plan.
Oh, the Force works in mysterious ways, right, Ana-Maria?
So true. I couldn't agree more, Brad.
Well, my gosh, you are now a permanent part of the Star Wars legacy. How does it feel to be part of perhaps the biggest film phenomenon out there?
Sometimes I walk on the streets and I think, oh my God, I hope someone doesn't recognize me because that's the end of my private life. But I truly enjoy the conversation online on Twitter, especially. I think that's where the community is more active. I have to confess that at the beginning, after we shot the movie, I had to keep very quiet, and I was passively, seeing what the fandom is tweeting about, how things are developing online. But because I was so scared of not having anything leaked, everything was coded about this movie. Just to give you an idea about the secrecy, we were actually even camouflaged, so we had to wear these camouflaged coats, and we had a bodyguard who was with us the whole time when we weren't on set actually performing. And yeah, I mean, I truly enjoyed the experience, and I'm looking forward. I'm going to be this weekend in Cardiff at a convention, and I'm truly looking forward to meet the fans, right? I mean, I had some friends who have children, and they are much older than me, so they grew up with Star Wars, they're fanatics about the movie. And then actually Star Wars number 7 was an excuse, the perfect opportunity for them to introduce their children to the galaxy, right? And they said, Ana-Maria, now my son knows that Dasha Promenti is alive. He can't believe I'm actually in touch with someone from Star Wars. He thinks I'm the coolest dad on earth. And I had to give them some few autographs as well, which was a great pleasure. And yeah, I think, my mother is a teacher, so I've always been more or less, around children. So I think I feel very happy to know, this group of people are super happy and excited. If I can, yes, I think that's really, truly amazing to know you can do something good without doing too much, actually.
Yeah, it truly is amazing. This is a franchise that, Brad and I are around the same age, and, growing up, this was a fixture of our childhoods. And now, now that we're adults, like, this is not only is it something that we can revisit and enjoy kind of this new life in this franchise, but it's fun to look at like the new generation, like the kids of today who are also getting to go along on this journey that we went through. That's so exciting for us.
Oh, yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, just going to see this movie, right? Like looking around at these kids who are 6 and 7 years old or younger and just thinking, I was that kid. Like the only Star Wars movie I got to see when I was old enough was Return of the Jedi. It was my first one in the theater. but I remember seeing that movie and just being so transfixed and swept away. And now Star Wars is like a big part of my life, like forever. So it's so cool, Ana-Maria, that you get to be part of this sort of relaunch of this phenomenon, right? Like so many new kids are coming on board, and man, that's phenomenal.
I think it's really, I truly enjoyed so much, and I remember my mother asked me if I want to become a teacher when I was very young, and I said, Mom, you're a teacher already. Why do you need me to become a teacher? I think if there is something to give, to young people, we can always give in a different way. So I'm very grateful to my parents that they always listened uh, to my needs in terms of art, in terms of developing myself as an adult in school, because I remember I was in high school and I went for this secret audition, and I took the role to join an acting school part-time alongside my high school classes, and they allowed me to do that, and I can't tell you how happy I actually was, right? I was always told as a child that I would do very good at acting if I started to do this. And I said, you know what? It's a very, sometimes the acting job can be, sometimes you know what you're going to do, sometimes you need to wait forever until the next role. So I said I would just give it a try and see. As I said before, I'm a very big fan of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who said, above all, try, right? So I think it's important to try. I mean, if you're an artist and if you have, a hidden talent, you should try and see if, if you can, further nourish this talent, because it's important to cultivate this passion you have. Otherwise, you feel a little bit as if you betray yourself.
Can you tell us a little bit about what life after Star Wars is like for you? Like, what other projects you might be working on? What's next for Ana-Maria Leonte?
Oh, after Star Wars, so after Star Wars was actually in the cinemas. Uh, just to give you an idea, sometimes my weekends have become only Sundays, if at all.
Yeah.
And otherwise, I'm working on various projects. Some of them are, I work for a fintech company as well, based in the US. So I have some finance technology based projects. They're again at the intersection of technology and art, which I truly love. And there are a few projects in terms of drama and acting, but they are developing, and some of them was Star Wars was as well. They're under NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, so I can't give more details, unfortunately. But what I would truly love to do more in the future, I would love to perform in the community, to perform to do some stage theater. And that's what I'm working on at the moment. I joined Sylvia Young Theatre School, and I'm working towards this, and perhaps towards the end of the year. Now it depends, because sometimes it's a bit challenging, right? To know what to prioritize, how to do it to be the right thing for you, because sometimes you can't foresee what projects will come, and perhaps you're already involved in another one. And I'm the type of person, if I give you my word for something, then I will keep it towards the end. So yeah, there are some cool projects in fintech and some in acting, but I think with acting sometimes it takes a bit longer for them to be on screen, or perhaps to be there for the audience, just because it requires a longer investment. Let's put it this way.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, we are definitely excited to see more of Ana-Maria Leonte. Whatever projects come your way, what you've got in the works, sounds like maybe a lot of fun. Can't wait to see what's coming. You mentioned Twitter, right? Maybe you can tell us a little bit, Ana-Maria. Like, is Twitter like the best way for fans to maybe be in touch with you, or is there other means as well?
Yes, Twitter is mainly the platform I'm using for to engage with the fandom. They can reach me on Instagram as well, but as I was mentioning before, I'm mainly posting. Instagram is more relaxed, right? It's more personal, more to what Ana-Maria does when she's not at work, when she is on set, when. So it's a lot of information about my holidays. whereas Twitter is more related to what I do as a professional, acting and both in technology.
Excellent, excellent. So what, just for those of our listeners who want to go to Twitter right now, Ana-Maria, and follow you, what is your Twitter handle for them?
It's Ana-Maria, A-N-A Maria with one N, and then capital L, Leonte, Leonte.
Perfect. All right. Well, we will definitely put that in our show notes as well, for sure, Ana-Maria. And just want to thank you. Oh my gosh, I know you are a very, very busy person, but we have really enjoyed sitting down with you for a little while. And man, it's been great to chat with you. Thank you so much for coming on board.
Thank you very much for having me. And something I have forgotten to say, but it's equally important to what I'm doing, is my charity work. So at the moment, I'm working with this NGO called Generation Success, and we're helping young people in the UK from all cultural backgrounds. Help them develop in the professional career they are following. Either they are in business, technology, the law, and we're connecting them with relevant mentors within their career and the path they're following. So we have some events coming up on the 8th of March for the International Women's Day, and also in June. But it's aimed at both men and women within this field. So yeah, if anyone is interested, go to generationsuccess.com.
Oh, that's phenomenal. I'm taking a look at the website right now, actually, and we'll put the link in the show notes for everybody. What a cool concept. I mean, I love that you are involved in helping to make this work, Ana-Maria. That is phenomenal. And listeners, definitely head on over to the website. Again, we'll put that link in the show notes for you. But yeah, totally cool. I love it.
I've always been volunteering since I think I was 14. So, it's in my blood now. I can't take it off. It feels that if I don't do it, it feels something is missing. So I totally encourage, either you're a professional, perhaps you have your family and you're busy. We all are busy. But I think sometimes, volunteering 2 hours of your time or helping someone or plant a tree or help a young child with their homework or an elderly, it brings so much joy into your life. I truly would recommend it to everyone.
I agree. You really get what you give in life, I feel. Call it karma, whatever you wish, right? But what you put into the universe eventually can come back to you too. So certainly good things are happening for you, Ana-Maria, and we really, once again, just appreciate you sitting down with us today. It's been really great chatting with you.
Thank you very much.
True pleasure.
Thank you, Williams. Thank you very much for having me, and I'm looking forward to listening to your next movie review.
All right. Well, we appreciate that, Ana-Maria, and definitely wish you well. And for those of you out in listener land, you can, of course, find this episode and all of our other episodes on our website at moviebearspodcast.com. You can also search for us in iTunes or on Stitcher Radio and find us on YouTube under Movie Bears Podcast. Ana-Maria, we are going to put links galore in our show notes for everyone so that they can find you and connect with you and get involved with the charities. But I have to say, this is probably the corniest thing in the universe, but I'm going to say it anyway. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you as well. With every...
Oh, I'm just grinning ear to ear. This is like, if I could go back in time and tell, child William, he'd be interviewing someone from Star Wars, would not believe it. So this is so much fun.
Yeah,
right.
I truly enjoy being with you guys on this show as well. And, may the Force be with all of us and with the fans in Cardiff this weekend. I'm really looking forward to meet them all.
Oh, phenomenal. We actually have some listeners in Cardiff. And guys, definitely get out to the convention, listen to the show, and then go see Ana-Maria in person. Do it! I'm jealous that you're there and I'm not. All right, everyone. Take it easy. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.